Quick question. What is the Bible? Is it only just a mythology, a philosophy, a translation of the old concerning the new? Is there any connection between history and the literacy of the Bible? Are there any prophecies in the Bible to which are literal in context today? That is what we need to do. Put the Bible in context, then we can understand what was happening. Therefore, we should start where it starts. But first, some of our Bibles have notes before you start reading the actual Bible, and those notes need to be read so you can understand the context of or the people who are translating it. And it reads, translation issues.
The translators have made a conscious effort to provide a text that can be easily understood by the typical reader of modern English. To this end, we ought to use only vocabulary language structures in common use today. We avoid using language likely to become quickly outdated or that reflects only a narrow subdialect of English, with the goal of making the New Living Translation as broadly useful.
A typical reader who will not understand the ancient symbols, the ancient meanings, and their secrecy. So the translated came and say that they made it easy. But the question is, did they take it out of context or did they keep it in the same value in its context? The account of creation. In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and earth. Wait, who wrote this? Who saw it and had the means to write it down? The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters, and the spirit of Elohim was hovering over the surface of the waters. Interesting enough, as a typical reader, putting this into context of today, we have things such as the hoverboard. Wait, so something was hovering over the waters. Who saw this? Where was he? That Moses is the one who saw this and he wrote this. But the question is, why does it say that the Spirit was hovering over the water? Is there any evidence in the scripture, in the Bible itself, where it shows Elohim and Elohim in his spiritual supreme power hovering over the water? Wait, when you are climbing onto a hoverboard, your feet are in contact onto the hoverboard. Does this mean the feet of Elohim, the earth, is his resting place for his feet? Let us check. Now, Exodus 24. Israel accepts the Elohim's covenant. Elohim instructed Moses, come up here to me and bring along Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the Israel elders. All of you must worship from a distance. Verses 9. Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 elders of Israel climbed up the mountain. There they saw the Elohim of Israel. Under his feet there seemed to be a surface of brilliant blue crystal sapphire, as clear as the sky. Wait, it says under his feet. Where does the hoverboard go? Under the feet. So under his feet there seemed to be a surface of brilliant blue crystal clear sapphire. Then it gives what it is, as clear as the sky.
For I had read the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 and 2, and I did put it into context, not only on the spiritual side of it, but also the physical side of it, of where and when Moses wrote that Bible, that vision of what he saw. For when he saw that, he was with his assistant Joseph, he was with his prophet Aaron, and 70 other elders saw this with him. And so in that same book of Exodus 24 in verses 9 and 10, it says that they saw Elohim and Elohim sat and ate with them. He sat and ate and drank with them. In another version, it says they had a covenant